Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will talk to you about one of the most important stages of sexual education, which is mostly missing in many lessons of sexual education in different schools and different cultures. It is feeling of erotic energy and possession of this energy. Of course, you will think that, okay, if you are talking about erotic energy, erotic videos which are connected to pornography comes to your mind. But erotica or eroticism in the dictionaries is defined as sensuality, increased interest to sexual life and its description. I think you know about that. And we are talking about erotic energy, which is the energy of inspiration, energy of beauty, which leads to creativity. And it is not directly related to sexual relations, to having sex or bodily pleasure. I think you need to know, and maybe you know this, that the word erotic came from the name Eros. And initially it came from the Greek myths. You can find the story about Eros and Psyche, and there is nothing about bodily pleasure or having sex. So I want you to listen very beautiful poem of the great Russian poet Alexander Pushkin. It is full of erotic energy, it flows through it, and it will help you a lot to feel this erotic energy we will be talking about.
A wondrous moment I remember. Before me once you did appear. A fleeting vision you resembled of beauty's genius, pure and clear. By grief and languor hopeless rendered, beset by noisy vanity, long time in me your voice rang tender. Of your dear features were my dreams. Years past, rebellious storm winds sundered and scattered hopes that used to be, and I forgot your voice so tender, your features dear and heavenly. In gloom of backwoods isolation, my days dragged by a silent drudge, without God's spark or inspiration, or tears, or any life or love. My soul awoke in precognition, and once again you did appear, resembling a fleeting vision of beauty's genius, pure and clear. And now my heart beats in elation, and resurrected soar above. The spark of God and inspiration, and life and tears at last, and love.
I want to tell you that if you give your children technical information about how to make sex, how to put on condoms, how to masturbate, and you do it faster than it's necessary, it will make a lot of harm to your child. And of course you know that this knowledge are normally given on the lessons of sexual education nowadays. But the problem is that because of such knowledge, children lose the erotic feeling. The thing is that if you have this erotic feeling, you can have the normal and adequate sexual education. If not, then it will be a problem for you for many years.
Alright guys, today we're going to learn about the human body. Now, I know there's a lot of slang terms out there for body parts. Please be quiet, son. It's important for you to know and understand the scientific terms so that you have respect for your bodies, for the bodies of others. That's why in this class we're only going to use the proper names for the body parts. So let's start with the female anatomy. Here we have the labia majora. Let me hear you say it. Let's all get comfortable with it here. Labia majora. Good. Yes, Leon.
Is it always called labia majora?
Yes, Leon.
What if it's kind of droopy?
It's always the labia majora.
What if it looks like lunch meat?
It's still the labia majora.
What if it looks like a baby's face frowning?
That's still labia majora.
Well, what if it
Leon, it will always be labia majora, okay?
There are certain stages in the development of sexual education of any person. And if the knowledge of erotic feeling is missing, a very important part is missing, and it will be very difficult to feel it later. So there are stages when people are writing poems, when they are writing letters and devoting different beautiful things to a person whom they are inspired by. It is platonic love, and it's a very important period in the life of any person, as people admire the object they are addressing. They feel beautiful energy inside, the beautiful energy of inspiration, and there is no any naughty demand to their attention to yourself. There is only beauty, inspiration, and the energy that generates creation. It is exactly like in the poem that you just heard. A wondrous moment I remember. And this line, it shows clearly the erotic energy. Before me once you did appear. Please pay attention that if a person does not have this phase of erotic feeling development, then he cannot have a husband or a wife. He can't go into really open relations. Yes, of course, you can play in being husband to wife, but you know very well how there are many unhappy people, divorces and then suffering children. And all that is because people who cannot really unite with someone for long open relations start uniting. The game in openness has acquired a large scale. Having visited many seminars, reading many books in psychology, people use phrases, techniques, show their openness, but their behavior suggests the opposite. They care only about themselves. They are close to a partner, but use him, for example, for sexual satisfaction. And in close relations, it's always difficult to see that your partner does this and is actually close to you. These are the people who have missed the stage of development of erotic feelings. They behave like that. They can't really go into open relations, as they don't know what is uniting with others, what is synchronicity. When parents see that the child has such a feeling for someone, a feeling of love or admiration, they should tell their children about their own experience, how they met their partner, what they felt, what they thought, share their life story. It is precious. Playing on the musical instruments is one of the best ways to develop erotic feelings. And especially people play a duet, trios, quartets. It teaches people how to synchronize, concentrate not only on how you yourself are different, but it gives the ability to keep your individuality and unite with the individuality of the other person, together creating harmony and beauty. After all, if a person does not know how to distinguish his feelings clearly, how to control them, then so-called love can come unexpectedly, suddenly, and absorb a person fully. At that time, if a person had experience of synchronous actions, he in the body clearly knows this energy of unity. We can say that this feeling of synchronicity is written in his cells. He knows for sure a sense of great joy from synchronization. Then nobody will be able to trick such person saying, "We are the one." If he does not feel connection, he knows that there is no any connection. But please notice, there is a big difference between playing a musical instrument and playing sport games. In the sport games, there exists the idea of competition. Participants unite in order to defeat others, that is, they unite against others. This brings up the struggle, passion and idea to follow the passions, and even skills how to do it. While playing musical instruments, we do not win anybody, we do not compete with anyone, we do not fight and struggle. We fit in with our own individuality and unite with another individuality. It is connection not against someone, but for something, and it is already very close to creation. There were several types of love in ancient Greece. Of course, they exist now, only the information about them is so confused and mixed that it is almost impossible to understand anything. I will briefly describe them so that you can see the variety of feelings. The first type of love is called Eros. It is enthusiastic love based primarily on devotion and affection for the beloved. This is love inspiration, as a muse for the poet. The second type of love is called Ludus. It is love passion, love sport. It is love game and competition. This love is based on sexual attraction and is aimed solely at enjoyment. It is consumer love. In such relations, a person is more inclined to get than to give something to his partner. From these two types of love, we can already distinguish that erotic feeling and sexual passion are different. The next type of love is called Stoeger. It is love tenderness, love friendship. Having these types of love, partners are also friends. Their love is based on warm and friendly partner relations. This kind of love often arises after years of friendship or after many years of joint marriage. The next type of love is called Figlio. It is platonic love, named so because it was this kind of love that Plato praised as true love. This love is based on spiritual attraction. With this love, there is a complete acceptance of the beloved, respect and understanding. It's a love for parents, children, for best friends. This is love for the sake of love. The next type of love is mania, or as the ancient Greeks called this kind of love, madness for the gods. Love mania was considered to be a punishment. This love is an obsession. It makes a man who is in love suffer, and it also makes suffering the object of the passion. A lover tries to be with his lover all the time, trying to control him, experiencing a crazy passion and jealousy. Also, a lover feels heartache, confusion, constant tension, uncertainty, anxiety. He is completely dependent on the object of adoration. Beloved, after some period of such love, begins to avoid meetings and makes attempts to break off relations, to disappear from lover's life, to protect himself from the obsessed with love. This kind of love is destructive. It brings destruction to both. This kind of love cannot last long, except for sadomasochistic relationships. I think many of us met this type of love many times. The next type of love is Agape. It is sacrificial, unselfish love. The lover is ready for self-sacrifice in the name of love. In such love, there is complete devotion to loved ones, full acceptance and respect. In this love, partners develop together, become better, get rid of selfishness, try to give more to the partner than to take from him in relations. And one more type of love I want to talk about, it is pragma. This is rational love, cupboard love. Such love does not arise from the heart, but from the mind. That is, it is not born from feelings, as Greek people thought, but from a conscious decision to love a certain person. And this decision is based on the arguments of the mind. This kind of love is self-serving, but it can last for a long time, and the couple with this kind of love may be quite happy. Also, pragma can grow into a different kind of love over time. I think it's important to pay attention on this statement and these words about pragma love. Greek people were sure that the love that is based on conscious decision can last for a long time. And if we look in literature or in the history, there are a lot of couples like that, and they were happy. So a developed person knows all these kinds of love and honors them. And we are talking today about Eros, erotic feelings. Eros is inspiration, energy of beauty and creativity. Of course, if you go in the internet, in many sources it is described as sexual passion and sexual attraction, obsession, which makes a person crazy. But it is not like that at all. So, as I already mentioned, these types of love came from Greece. And if you read the myth about Eros and Psyche, you will see that there was no any crazy passion. Eros is pure, light, joyful feeling. Erotic feeling generates creative energy, and now many children are simply not allowed to live through it, as they get technical information about the skills of sexual relations from the very beginning. A wondrous moment I remember, before me once you did appear, of beauty's genius pure and clear. Erotic feeling gives the impulse to certain actions. And we see now that love eros and love sex are completely different. Therefore, people who were not given sexual education and erotic feeling as the very important part of sexual education, they cannot feel eros and they do not understand their creative energy. Then it is difficult for them to realize themselves in society, to do what they really must do, to find their place.
In previous times, people's education was checked by the ability of conducting a witty conversation on different topics. And a healthy sense of humor shows that a person has the right sexual education. And it's a very important thing. I want you to pay attention on that. And now I'll give you a simple everyday example of how the erotic energy works, how it brings joy, and you will feel it more and more. So imagine the winter evening and people are sitting at the table, they're talking about different topics, discussing their everyday life. And they're making decisions on the very important issues. Suddenly, a boy comes into the room and he brings in his hands a butterfly. Can you imagine? It's winter and it's butterfly. And he opens his hands and the butterfly flies out. And everybody sees its beautiful wings. And everybody feels happiness and joy. And it is the very pleasant energy in this winter evening, the energy of summer, the energy of beauty. And of course, you can understand that this boy, he used this erotic energy to bring joy to these people. And of course, you can guess that nobody told him about the erotic energy and how it works and how he can use it. But it was simply made step by step from his childhood, using the aspects that we are talking about. And of course, children, they intuitively feel this energy of inspiration, beauty and joy. So this erotic energy that generates creation. But if they are given too much information about sex, or they find it somewhere having lack of knowledge about that, this feeling of intuitive feeling of erotic energy is lost. It is like it's killed inside this child. So please take care of your children and share with them necessary beautiful information that they really need at their age. Thank you for being with us today, and I'll see you next time.